Good morning. This is Around the House with Kay and Tom. I am going to make some chicken and dumplings this morning, and I'm really going to do it the way I used to do it a long time ago. I have a pressure cooker. I don't know how many of you still have a pressure cooker, but you can cook your chicken any way you want to, but I'm going to put my chicken in the pressure cooker. I'm going to use Swanson's chicken broth, canned biscuits, a can of creamy chicken. You need a stick of butter. You need a little bit of flour, because when you get ready to roll out your biscuits, which I'll show you, you need to flour you a little bit. And you just need salt and pepper. And that is all you need. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the chicken. And the chicken I've got is froze. Like I say, that Tom used to buy the big packs of chicken, and he would always put 3 or 4 pieces in a bag, and that's what we're going to use. We're going to use these frozen chicken thighs here, and I'm going to make some old-fashioned chicken and dumplings. So the first thing we're going to do is undo the pressure cooker, or pot, whatever some people call it. And of course, I already washed it, but I'll just rinse it out. Okay, now I'm just going to put the chicken in here. I'm going to leave the skin on the chicken because we'll take that out later, but it sure does give it a good flavor. And now you just take your chicken broth. I poured out 4 cups of chicken broth. You just want enough to cover your chicken, which that really wasn't enough. So I'm just going to use what's in this container here. It's not very much. And when you're using a pressure cooker, you never ever put more fluid in it than halfway. Never. So since I don't really have quite enough fluid in it, liquid, I'm just going to add a little bit of water. Now, if you don't have any chicken broth, it is no big thing. All you got to do is put it in there with water, and it will do the very same thing. So what you do with the pressure cooker is you make sure that the seal is a little down. You put it on the pot, and there's just a certain way you put this thing on. I'm really going to get a treat seeing me do this. But you realize it's been probably 7 or 8 years since I've used a pressure cooker. Alright, you've got it now where it's locked in there. You take your little knob, you put it on the top, and you set it over here on the stove. Now I've got my pot on my stove, I've got it cut on, and I have to wait until it starts boiling, and you'll hear it jingle. When it starts jingling is when you start timing it. I usually cook my chicken maybe, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, and it should be done. And then when we get that done, we'll take it apart, shred up the chicken if it's not already shredded. Then we'll put the rest of the stuff in the pot, and I'll show you how to do that, because there is a secret to that, to make it really, really good and not make all your dough clumped up into one little ball. So let's give it a few seconds to start boiling, and we'll go from there. And this is Around the House with Kay and Tom. I appreciate you watching my videos, appreciate the comments, appreciate you subscribing. Really do like the comments. I try to answer most of them. I'll admit that lately I haven't answered all of them, but I will try my best to get to them. And any suggestions that y'all can give me to make this better, I am all for it. I really like the positive suggestions, but if you've got something that would, if it is a negative one, I try to really read it and go back and look at my video and make sure that, hey, you know what, they were right. I should have done so-and-so. My sister is always telling me, Kay, you need to show so-and-so. You didn't show so-and-so. So I'm trying to learn how to angle my camera a little bit better. And hey, after about 5 or 6 years like Tom, I may be an expert in this. So let's just give this chicken and dumplings a try. I want to tell you one thing while this is getting hot about a pressure cooker. A pressure cooker has a safety valve on it. And if the pressure gets too high, it will seal this pot. It's not going to, a lot of people are scared that it's going to blow off, the top's going to blow off or something or other. But it actually will seal this pot. I had one that I forgot, left it on the stove, forgot. It sealed, this thing, it sealed the lid, couldn't get the lid off. They had to throw the whole pot away because once it's sealed, even when you take this off at the end, when it finished cooking and you take this off to let the steam out, if it has, something has happened and all the water has boiled out of it and it does seal, you won't get it off. It doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get this lid off. So I don't have any qualms about using a pressure cooker, and it's really a good way to cook, especially stews or anything that you wanted like shredded or really tender. A pressure cooker is really a good way to go. So hasn't come to a boil yet, but I can hear it a little bit, so you'll be able to hear it in just a moment. But I just wanted to let you know that they are safe. They're not the old-fashioned one that they say the lid would blow off, but I have actually had mine to seal. My fault, but it has sealed. So let's give it a few more minutes. Okay, as you can see, the steam is coming, if you can see it, the steam is coming around the pot, and this will start jingling very shortly. And when it starts jingling, I will probably time it maybe 10-15 minutes, and then the chicken's going to be done. But don't let it excite you or think something's wrong when the steam comes around. The little thing here on the handle is just popped up to let me know that it's got the steam in it. Now it's sealing itself, and this will go to jingling very shortly. I can even smell the chicken now, or maybe it's the chicken broth that I smell, because it smells good. Okay, I hope you can hear this jingling. Well, it was, and then when I wanted you to hear it, it quit, but it'll start right back. But it will jingle, so there it goes. And it shakes around a little bit. And remember, when you put this on, you sort of mash it down, and it sort of clicks, but then it will cook. So let's let it cook for about 10 minutes. And my chicken should be done. It took about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes for it to start steaming, so don't get excited if it doesn't start jingling right off, because it does take a little while for the steam the pressure in the pot to build up. And when the little red button on the top of this one comes up, that means the pressure is really building, and then it's cooking my chicken for me. I just hope y'all can hear this steaming, just cooking right away. And I've got my stove. I started off with it high, and then when my little button came up showing me the steam would build up in it, the pressure, I did cut it down just a little bit. So we're cooking right on. Okay, now it's been cooking for 10 minutes, so I'm going to cut off my eye. And I'm going to just let it calm down by itself, let the steam stop. You can actually take it off of this eye if you wanted to, and just let it cool off a few minutes. And you'll hear it just sort of quit jingling. And when it does that, I'll take the lid off the top so the steam can escape. But first off, I'm going to let it all quit jingling a little bit. And no matter what you do, you don't try to undo this lid until that little pin right there drops. It's a little red pin in case you can't see it. But it's in the handle. It's just showing me that I've got a lot of steam in there. Now just about all the steam is out of the pot, so you can take your little top, and just remember that's a little bit hot. And the red button has dropped down. I was going to see if I could pick it up so you could see the red button. The little red button right there has dropped down. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and I set it down in my sink. Some people don't. They just set it on a towel or something, but I'm going to set mine down in my sink. I always run a little cold water just around it. I just wanted to make sure that there's no steam left in it, so when you open it up, there you go. And all you got to do is twist it, and the lid comes off real easy. And let's just see if my chicken is done. We're going to get the chicken out. Oh, I think it is done. I can't even pick it up. It's coming all to pieces. Just going to take out the big pieces. If you've got some left in it, so you know, like some of the chicken has come apart, that's good. And like I say, there is some little pieces of chicken in the pot, which is fine and dandy. It'll just taste that much better. So our next step is to get the bread ready, and the biscuits, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, we're ready to move on. I took the chicken and I took off the skin, and I cut it up in I just shredded it. I didn't do a lot to it. I just shredded it. I just wanted to make sure that all of the bones was out of it, and the gristles and things like that was out of it. So what we do next is we take the pot that has the stock in it, and you're going to add your cream of chicken soup. So, and I have found out that if you will mix it with a little water, part of it, it won't be so, I don't know, messed up, globbed up. It doesn't take as long to get it smooth. So we'll just pour some of that chicken stock in there. Here we go. And as my sister would say, I can't see what you're doing, so what I'm doing is I'm just trying to smooth it out and get it where it's smooth. As you can see, I have rolled out my little canned biscuits. And I intend to invite my brother-in-law, sister-in-law over for dinner tonight. So one can just did not look like it was enough. So I went back and got another can. Then after you roll out your dough, all you do is cut it in strips. You can use a knife. You can use, I have a pizza cutter. And they don't need to be uniform. Some people just pinch it off in clumps. The only thing I find with that is that you really have to be careful, and because sometimes if you do that, it will you'll just have a doughy goo mess inside your pot. So I just usually just cut mine up like this. And when I have as much as I'm going to have now, I just lay it on a plate. Just so I have room enough to cut up the rest. That's all. Just stretch it out. Here's another piece. And I'll get all this cut up in little strips. And by that time, my chicken broth should come back to a boil over here. That I've got the cream of chicken in and the chicken broth. And that's all I'm waiting for. So let's see how we're doing on the chicken broth over here. Okay, as you can see inside the pot, my chicken broth is now just rolling along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chicken back in here that I have cut up, diced up. Just stir it up a little bit, get it, everything rolling. Okay, now the chicken's in the pot and it is now bubbling. Everywhere it's bubbling at, where you see it is bubbling, you're going to take a piece of your dough and you're just going to lay it on top of where it's bubbling at. And try your best not to stir it. If you've got to stir it, sometimes you have to, but don't stir it much, because if you do, like I say, you're just going to have a glob of dough, because you want to for it to separate. So wherever you see it starting to boil, it comes up in little spots. That's where you lay your dough. So we're going to put these 2 cans of biscuits in this broth that is cooking, and as it bubbles, your dough gets done. And this doesn't take long at all. And I know that there's shortcuts you can take. You can have your chicken done. You don't have to go this route that I have gone. But this is really, really old-fashioned chicken and dumpling. And all I'm doing is I'm just mashing the dough down. I'm not really trying to stir or anything. And I really hope you can see how much the dough is rising. And like I say, there's another little bubble part. And everywhere there's a bubble part, you're going to put some more dough until you don't have any more. And then by the time you get through putting these 2 cans of dough in here, you're going to be amazed. The rest of the stuff is going to be done. And you see, you still got a lot of juice. I probably got a half a can of biscuits left. Went somewhere to eat a couple of nights. Well, it's been a week ago, I guess, or so. And I ordered chicken and dumplings. I didn't see any chicken in it. It tasted like chicken. But all I had was dough and a little clunk. So I decided, well, now if the next time I want chicken and dumplings, they'll be my chicken and dumplings. And it has been a while since I have cooked any. Tom liked it because you can, after if you don't eat it all, which most of the time we didn't, he could have it the next day. Sometimes you can just add a little water, heat it up, heat it in the microwave. Okay, that's all of my dough. So I've got to give that just a minute to cook. And the one thing that makes chicken and dumplings good is put a little black pepper in it. Between the cream of chicken soup and a little black pepper, you have got a fantastic meal. I usually just have string beans with it. And like I say, you have a fantastic meal. Here's a piece of chicken that I don't particularly like the way it looks. This is just a piece that came close to the bone, it looks like. There's a piece that's sort of stuck together, but I separated it. I do not want any of my dough to be stuck together. Okay, you need to give it just a, cut it down and just let it simmer for just a few minutes. And your chicken and dumplings is good. I will pour it up in a bowl and let you see what it looks like. I really do appreciate y'all watching my channel. I really hope you subscribe and come back to see me again. And now here's the finished product of my chicken and dumplings. Now isn't that a pretty bowl of chicken and dumplings? Again, thank you for watching my channel. Come back again. Hope you subscribe. Have a good day. Around the House with Kay and Tom. Bye.